Hi, this is An, and let's learn the basics of guitar. A guitar mainly consists of a head, a neck, and a body. The neck consists of these vertical spaces called frets. The fret closest to the head is called the first fret. The fret next to it is the second fret, and so on. Then we have the strings. Starting from the bottom, it's the first E string, the second B string, the third G string, the fourth D string, the fifth A string, and the sixth E string. We usually use our non-dominant hand to push the frets, so unless we're left-handed, we do it with our left hand, and we pluck or strum the strings around the sound hole on the body with our dominant hand, which is usually our right hand. Why does the numbering start from the bottom? I'm not sure, but maybe it's because when we play the guitar, we view the strings upside down. So we view the bottom string as the top string, and it would be easier to remember that as the first string. What are these letters anyways? We use these letters to give each note or each position, each combination of fret and string their specific names. We only use the letters A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and after that the letters are going to be repeated. They have a fixed distance between them. The distance from A to B is one tone, B to C is one semitone, which is equal to half a tone, so actually when we say one tone, it equals to two semitones. The distance between C to D is one tone, D to E is one tone, E to F is one semitone, F to G is one tone, and G to the higher A is one tone. Aside from the fixed distance, these letters have their specific positions on the guitar as well. Let's take the sixth string as an example. When we don't push any frets and we pluck the sixth string, it would be an E note. Since the distance between frets is one semitone and the distance between E and F is also one semitone, when we push the first fret, it would be an F note. Moving on, because the distance between F and G is one tone or two semitones, the G note is located on the third fret of the sixth string. Then, the distance between G and A note is one tone or two semitones. So if you want to pluck the A note on the sixth string, it would be on the fifth fret. But you can also do it just by plucking the fifth string without pushing on any fret. They should sound the same. That is how it goes for the other strings as well. Then what's in between these notes? Unless it already has a name, when we raise a note one semitone, it is called a sharp. And when we lower a note one semitone, it is called a flat. So when we push the second fret of the sixth string, we can call it F sharp because it is raised one semitone from the note F, or we can call it G flat because it is lowered one semitone from the note G. It's the same for the others too. Together, these notes plucked on different strings form what we call chords. We'll only discuss one chord as an example, C major. This is one of the most common chords. Even in romance dramas, where one of the main leads play guitar and is hitting on the other main lead by teaching how to play it together, they usually teach this chord first. Each chord has a bass. That is the lowest note of the chord. On the guitar, the bass is usually on the fourth, fifth, or the sixth string. C major chord consists of the notes C, E, and G. And since the name of the chord is C major, the bass would be in C. On the guitar, the lowest C note is on the third fret of the fifth string, so we won't be playing the notes before that, including the ones on the sixth string. What is a note of C major that we can find on the fourth string? Yes, it's the E note, which is located on the second fret. Then, on the third string, we have the G note without having to push on any frets. On the second string, we have C note on the first fret. And on the first string, we have E note without having to push any fret. That is why the chord diagram of C major usually looks like this. The strings without dots represents the strings that we can pluck or strum without pushing any frets. The black dots represent the frets that we need to push, and this X sign represents the strings that we should not pluck or strum. However, on my tutorial videos, I usually position the chord diagrams like this. So it's rotated 90 degrees clockwise, but I hope it's still understandable. Sometimes when we play a chord, we want to change the bass. For example, in C major, sometimes we want to use E note as the bass. If that's the case, we can just use the 4th string as the bass and not pluck the 5th string. Or we can use the 6th string as the bass without pushing on any fret because the note is already E. And now the last section of this video, how to play the guitar. It's been mentioned that we use our non-dominant hand to push the fret to form chords or do finger style. Usually, we don't use the thumb. I personally can't because my fingers are short, but if yours are long, you can do what Jeff did here when he sang the acoustic version of Free Fall. He pushed the F sharp note on the 6th string for F sharp minor 7 chord using his thumb. There's no particular order in how you push the frets for the chords, just use whatever position feels best. That's why I don't specify the fingers on the chord diagrams in my tutorial videos. However, if you look up chord diagrams on the internet, they often include finger numbering, where the index finger is 1, middle finger is 2, ring finger is 3, and pinky finger is 4, along with their positions. On the other hand, literally, there is an order that I'd recommend you to follow if you want to do plucking. That is using the thumb to pluck the bass, which may be on the 4th, 5th, or the 6th string, using the index finger to pluck the 3rd string, middle finger to pluck the 2nd string, and ring finger to pluck the 1st string. The bass is plucked from above the string, and the 1st, 2nd, and the 3rd strings are plucked from below. If you want to do strumming, there's no rules. I usually combine my thumb and my index finger to do strumming. Using only index finger or even other fingers is fine as well. Alright, now you're ready. Look up the chords of your favorite songs or browse the tutorials videos on my channel. You'll rock it!